OffBeat Sports Podcast presented by Celsius.
It's been a tale of two seasons for the Boston Celtics.
I probably aged about 10 years just from that series.
I'd probably compare myself to just a younger, smarter, more handsome, stronger Michael Jordan.
Let's go Celtics. Go Patriots.
These are guys who, when you give them a bowl of Cheerios in the morning, they finish every last drop of milk.
Absolute clown over here.
I'm ready when you are, baby.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to the OffBeat Sports Podcast presented by Celsius. We're doing a little something new today when
I'm home.
we got the boy Harry home.
I'm home.
Welcome back, sir. Welcome back.
Gentlemen, good to be back. Good to see you all. Good to see you.
Hey, this is, I think, our first in-person podcast, so this is pretty cool. Pretty cool for us. We're excited. So this episode,
I'm drinking Arctic Vibe right now.
Hey,
I'm really messing with it.
Me and Aiden got that tropical vibe, so we're vibing.
I had to be different.
We're vibing.
90 degrees, can't go wrong. Tropical.
Yeah.
I know, facts. All right, let's get into it. We're going to talk some Celtics today because it's been a minute, and we had to kind of decompress after that finals loss. I went into a deep state of sadness that I needed to.
Mostly depression. Yeah.
That we needed to push through. I didn't leave my room for 2 weeks.
I will say the off season has definitely made me happier.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of things that have just like lightened my mood about how we ended the season. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, all right, well, that happened, but now we can kind of felt like.
But then it was brought back up by Steph Curry hosting the ESPYs.
Oh
last
my
night.
God!
That was
Proud daddy
awful.
of the Boston Celtics. Oh my God!
I gotta give him credit. That was
funny.
pretty
That was
funny.
funny.
But let's just quick recap. I think they had a great season. I don't think you can really chalk it up to that last series, like the final series, as like where you judge their season. I think it was a success.
No, absolutely.
Even halfway through the season, everyone thought they weren't even going to make the playoffs. So hard to get mad at the result. I mean, I'm upset about it, but I'm still good with how it ended. So I think we can kind of get into more of the off-season stuff, unless anyone has. You guys want to talk about the finals a little more?
I mean, if you guys watched the live or saw the reel that I put on the post on Instagram, I kind of gave my ones and twos about how the series went. Obviously, I said it when we made the podcast when we made the episode with Coach K.
Mm-hmm.
You guys were all like Celtics in 6, or it's going to be Warriors in 7. I told you. It was either going to be the Warriors in 6 or we were going to win it in 7. Warriors in 6, we ended up losing.
Harry's always right.
At the end of the day, listen to the big guy. That's all it is. But and unfortunate, yeah. But I mean, also at the same time, it was a big relief to see us get to the finals because all that work that we've been putting into these two guys has finally actually shown to be like, oh God, we made the right choice.
Wait, but you don't think after losing the finals they should split them up? Because that's all I'm hearing on social media.
I think after spending 4 years with these guys and developing them into the players they are today, the 2 all-stars, the 2 great players, 1 superstar, a superstar in the making. You get rid of them.
Yeah,
both of them, honestly.
I can't stand that.
I think we should trade our whole roster and 9 first-round picks for Kevin Durant. I think that's what we should do.
Yeah, I mean, looking back on the finals now, I know for me it was definitely disappointing to see them lose the way they did because I know Grant Williams said the other day, we're better than the Warriors. We're a better team. I wouldn't go that far to say that we were certainly a better team, but I do think we were more athletic. We easily could have won that series if we had just played a little bit better in the crunch time moments. But as Harry just pointed out, seeing the team actually make the finals instead of coming up short in the conference finals for another, 4th time maybe in the last 5 or 6 years, that would have been very disappointing, especially if that Jimmy Butler shot went in.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It was a big conference boost.
It
really was. Especially, I think it was a big kind of reality check moment, especially for Tatum and Brown, because that gives them finals experience.
Yeah.
Now they know what it takes
to
actually
now they're hungry for that. That loss makes them hungry to win.
They shook their nerves off. We got beat down, but at the end of the day, what is the Celtics proven more than being able to get back up after getting knocked down?
And we had a long series before then.
2 long series.
Fatigue probably came into
we
it.
Had a game 7 after a game 7 to back-to-back
so
series.
They were beaten up. And next year we got to just get healthy, get rested. Tatum hasn't stopped playing basketball for a while, so he's got to get rested up, and we'll be ready to go. So let's get into some of the offseason stuff because I'm very excited with some of the moves.
Oh my
they
goodness.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness. So first,
we'll wait on the Brogdon.
yeah, first I want to talk about Danilo Gallinari
Yeah.
signing. I think that's a perfect like 7th, 8th man for our lineup. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And stop it, God. Anyways, no, I think it's a perfect like 7th, 8th man for our team because Danilo Gallinari is just like the all around like role player guy.
He kills the Celtics every time we play.
Oh my
yeah.
God,
He just hits everything. He
That
shoots.
game, I'll never
Crazy.
forget that game last year in Atlanta where he made I think he made every single three he took against
Yeah,
us.
and
From
he hit like
40
8 threes.
points.
Yeah,
It
he was crazy in
ridiculous.
that game. But like,
I'm excited to see him, one, in a Celtics jersey, and two, coming off the bench. Like, obviously, he's a bench player, you know what I mean? But he's like bench talent. He's not bench player, he's bench talent.
and as an Italian, I love to see the Italian. But no, like honestly, he's wanted to be here for a while. He really has. I mean, I think I've heard him say it a lot, and he's so happy to be here. That's like the thing. You want people that want to be here. You don't
Yes.
want like if we traded for Kevin Durant, do you think he like?
Well, he did say he wanted to play for the
Yeah,
Celtics.
but like if he wanted to, if he
don't want him
but
here. is the
if he
thing, you know?
wanted to be here, he would have already been here.
yes,
Like
he wouldn't have
Yeah.
been in Brooklyn.
Gallinari wanted, like we were his first choice. He took less money to be with us versus the Bulls. That's got to say something considering the Bulls is like a very historic franchise as well, and they got a lot of talent on that team. Like he clearly wants to be here, and that makes me feel significantly better about him.
Absolutely.
I've been a huge Gallinari guy for years. Like I've said it like when I like a while ago, like that I wanted them. The last time he was a free agent, I wanted them to pick him up. But I love that signing. I think that's huge. He'll give us some depth on the wings, which was much needed.
Thoughts, Aiden?
So yeah, I love this pickup for the Celtics. So you look at their bench, that's probably the one spot they were needing. They have great backup depth now with Brogdon, that we'll get into in a little bit. Brings a lot to that bench. Pritchard played well for the majority of the playoffs. So I think we were really missing like a stretch forward that could really pull the three ball. And Gallinari certainly does a good job of that. And his defense may not be elite, but on this team like the Celtics, which has arguably one of the greatest defenses of all time, can easily hide him in there. And I think that bench scoring is so important in today's NBA, and he checks all the boxes the Celtics were looking for. I love the pickup.
You really scared me because I thought you were going to say arguably one of the greatest defenses in the league right now.
Oh,
And
I don't
I
think
was-
it's even an argument
and
that they
that's-
are the best.
That's
in
what
the league.
I was going to say. I was going to say they are.
history is elite.
Would
Yeah.
I don't know. Without getting too deep into it, do you think they're definitely the best defensive team in the NBA right now?
Oh, in the NBA right now,
far and
absolutely,
away, easily.
absolutely. And
Yeah.
the I don't. I think the competition's close, but we are definitely like
I can't
the
even think.
one
I
step
can't even think
ladder,
who would
you
be
know?
second.
No,
Like,
that's what I'm saying.
I think of
Like,
another team that can throw out their starting five, and there's not one weak link in there.
And there's two
Even the Warriors.
You're talking about weak
arguable-
link? Oh my goodness!
two
I can think of
arguable
four.
defensive player of the years on our team.
Our
Like,
weak link is an average defender.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pritchard. He's our weak link, if you want to call it that, and he's a solid defender.
Yeah, and he actually stepped up his defense
if you gotta-
significantly this year.
If you got to look at like our finals,
and he's not even going to play.
Yeah. We won't
if
even
you're
get
looking
that
at our
many minutes.
finals five with the DPOY, we had Brown, who's a solid defender, Tatum, who's proven to be a great defender, especially against superstar talent.
When he tries,
When he
sometimes
tries-
sometimes he falls
when he
asleep.
tries, as you saw in game 5 and 6, he stopped trying. But and like that's the thing. If everybody's heads in the game, the Celtics are a very, very, very hard team to beat. And I think we lost that aggression we had against the Bulls. Not the Bulls, sorry, the Bucks. I think we lost the aggression we had against the Bucks.
And
The aggression we had against the Heat.
Yeah.
And as you could see, game 6 and 7, we stopped playing as aggressive as we did when we opened up the series. And I was worried. I was like, well, we're an aggressive team. Warriors haven't seen that yet. If we start falling off right now on how physical we're playing against them, it's going to prove to hurt us. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
But that's another reason why I'm very excited about this offseason because I think it's time we talk about it. We got rid of a lot of weak links. Tice, I hate to call him a weak link.
Yeah, he didn't play all.
He didn't play a lot.
He actually stepped up huge in that net series.
You're right. You're 100%.
Then he got eaten alive in the next one.
But then he was nowhere to be found against the Bucks.
That's tough matchups for him. But
You're correct. But the Heat was the critical one for me.
I don't even think he played in the Heat series.
After watching the bubble series again that he had against Bam, I don't even think they were willing to put
That's
him
what
on.
I'm saying.
But I think he's a solid backup because right now we're still looking for a backup center, and I think that's probably our biggest need right now. They got to sign someone. They signed that summer league guy, but I don't think they're planning on having him.
He's gonna be a two-way maybe.
Yeah,
Put
so
Burke into that.
they definitely do need somebody that they'll have on the bench consistently to back up Rob Will. That could, Rob Will, he gets injured a lot. So, I mean, somebody that is reliable enough. I was hoping they'd sign Thomas Bryant, but he went to the Lakers for some godforsaken reason. He wants to end his career for some reason.
Lakers might get Kyrie though.
Nah, I don't know. I'm not convinced anyone on the Nets is getting traded, but
I keep saying,
I
they're the
feel like
biggest talkers.
it would have been done. I feel
That's
like.
what I'm saying. It's been 2 months that we've been.
They're gonna-
hearing,
they're-
KD's gonna
wanted to
leave.
trade- if they
Kyrie's
really
gonna
wanted
leave.
to trade.
They're gonna push
well,
too
they would've
hard.
already done it.
They're gonna push too hard for too much, and then everyone's just gonna be like, all right, never mind. Like, we're just gonna keep what we got. It's not worth sending like 8 first-round picks and a couple assets for Kevin Durant. As great as he is, like,
He's just old.
yeah, the only people that could actually do that are teams that wouldn't win a championship with him because they don't like. No,
Tagging on to who we've lost, we lost Tice. I wasn't upset about it. Another one I wasn't upset about was Neesmith. Because when we drafted Neesmith, I want you guys to know, me and Cross had
I predicted that a year
he
before.
predicted it a year before we got him, and we both had high hopes for Neesmith. I was very excited to get a 3-and-D guard because that's exactly what we didn't have. And then Grant Will became the 3-and-D guy we
I was
needed.
so hyped when we picked Neesmith too.
My thing is-
excited about that.
Yeah, I was so
My
excited
thing is,
for him.
I was so excited about him, and then I was so pissed about Pritchard because I was like,
Why we need
a
another
small white
guard?
point guard like that is never going to work in the NBA. It's never
then-
going to work. And then he came out and had a very good season, second half of the season.
Neesmith was nowhere
And
to be found.
Naismith was nowhere to be found.
Don't get me wrong. When he did play sometimes.
Yeah,
He did show himself.
but he wasn't what we thought he was. He was
Yes.
a really good hustle guy.
Yes.
Which you can never really hate a hustle guy.
What hurts more than that, though, or hurts more than what Neesmith has produced, is that we drafted the guy who we thought Neesmith was going to be, and then traded him.
Oh,
undrafted.
everyone says that, but that's not true. We didn't draft Desmond Bain. We didn't. We technically drafted
Oh, yeah,
him,
he was technically on our team. That's what I meant.
but we technically drafted him, but we never really were planning on keeping him. He was going to the Grizzlies. That was who the Grizzlies picked.
What?
We were picking him for the Grizzlies, and that's
When did
just
this
how
happen?
it's like the Kobe thing.
When did this happen?
What?
When did this happen?
It was like the 30th pick in the.
It was
nation
later
draft.
that night. We drafted.
Oh, in that
Bain,
draft?
and he was
Yeah.
traded, and it was in the Inez cancer.
So
salary
we had drafted Desmond Bain, and he immediately was sent to the Grizzlies. It was like the Kobe thing where technically he was drafted by the
And
Hornets,
Desmond Bain's
But
good
he
now?
put on a Celtics hat,
but he put on a Celtics hat.
Oh.
Desmond Bain was really good.
averaging like close to 20 points,
Oh.
45%.
Yeah.
20 points.
Yeah,
Oh my
he was a
God.
He's
shooter.
exactly who we wanted Neesmith to be.
Yeah, he was. A
Yeah,
nasty
Neesmith was nothing like that. Yeah.
But
Yeah, so let's get into the Brogdon trade. I know you kind of went over a couple of them, but we got rid of Brogdon. Did we do 2 first-round picks?
We got rid of Brogdon.
We got rid of Neesmith.
yeah, it
2
was
first-round picks: Tice, Stauskas, Malik Fitz, and is that it?
Yeah. I
Oh,
think
that's it. All right, but we didn't get rid of anybody who actually played.
No core members.
No core members, and added a starting
Easily
caliber player
Easily
to
started.
put as our 6th man. So I think that's a phenomenal trade. Brad Stevens fleeced them, and Brad Stevens has just been putting up W's.
I think he honestly
No,
starts.
they already said he's 6th man.
Really?
Yeah,
I-
I'm not
I would
convinced.
love a small ball lineup with Big Rob like head in the backcourt.
Which actually, when they first traded for him, before I found out he was going to be the 6th man, I was saying it might be beneficial if some games against smaller teams they move Horford to the bench to save his knees a bit because he's getting old. I mean, save him a bit. Don't let him get injured and go Smart, Brogdon, Brown, Tatum, and Rob Will and see how it works.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Because
Yeah.
if you think about it, Brogdon won. He can play defense, but he's a very, very good playmaker. And then you have the opposite side of the spectrum who can be a good playmaker, but is a very, very good defender.
Mhm.
And if you take like 90% of the league right now, their front court is either really good playmaker or really good shooter.
Mhm.
So if like if you look at the Warriors, I mean, obviously if Stephen Curry is one of the greatest point guards of all time, I would put him top 3.
Oh, you mean backcourt, not front court, right?
Yeah, sorry. Backcourt. If you look at Steph Curry, if you take that finals matchup, but add our team right now, which obviously like saying that's like saying like, oh my God, we just traded for LeBron, we would have won last year. You know what I mean? But that it doesn't matter to say it. But I think we washed the Warriors with a lineup like that, playing small ball to their small ball, playing up like them, how they want to play. We have Brogdon and Smart. We can now.
People also forgetting we have White on the bench.
That's
as
what
well.
I'm saying. You can now shift that potential of that because I mean we all saw how Tatum played against Wiggins. Wiggins locked him. Now Tatum's matched up against their 4.
Mhm.
Now he's matched up against Draymond. And Draymond was nowhere in that finals other than tackling and playing like a tight end. You know what I mean? And he was the one talking the most, but he was doing the least. If we switch that matchup, we win that finals. Like, because Brown didn't do crazy anyways. We needed Tatum to play good, and he was only not because Wiggins was playing phenomenal defense on him. A team like this, if we go with that small ball lineup, which it hurts me to say that we're not, but never too late. We could definitely attempt it. We could definitely see how it works in the waters. That's a scary.
I bet there's going to be a lot of like lineup like variations throughout the season. Just because like it's a long season, they don't want to like overwork some guys. There'll be definitely some lineup variations, especially for Al Horford, who is definitely getting up there in age. They want to try and save him because he had a huge impact on this season.
He's very gritty. Very gritty player.
And I'm very happy with this Brogdon trade.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I love this addition for the Celtics as well. I mean, we were already loaded last year, made the finals, but this only adds to that. And it's a stereotypical Ime move, right? We get guys that can shoot and defend at a high level, which is what Harry was saying, and be able to play make for others. And so I think if we were to play the Warriors again, like in a hypothetical series, like this summer or next year, I think we beat them because you can't make an argument that we got worse in this offseason.
Oh,
right?
we definitely
we
got
100% got better.
And the Warriors
Absolutely.
lost some key depth pieces. That I
Yeah,
don't
they
think
lost
people are
Gary
talking
Payton,
about as
Otto
much.
Porter.
Gary Payton was and Otto Porter too. Were both so
Gary
good.
Payton was huge.
Otto Porter
They were
killed us.
so good.
Yes, Otto was fucking phenomenal for their lineup, and Gary Payton is a fantastic.
He's definitely underrated.
Fantastic.
And
He's a
who else
starter
did
and a half.
They lost somebody else.
Juan Toscano Anderson.
Yeah, but they got Wiseman coming back. I think he'll be good. I like Rock.
Don't get me wrong. Their big 3, and everybody says their big 3 is Steph, Clay, and Draymond. Their big 3, Steph, Clay, and Wiggins. Their big 3 is scary.
And I mean, that's a big 4. Draymond's
still great. I'm not undermining Draymond Green's potential at all. He's still fantastic. He's still a fantastic defender. Still a fantastic player. I just hate his guts. But so that, like, don't get me wrong. Still a fantastic.
If he was
team.
a Celtic, we'd all love him.
Oh no, I
yeah.
wouldn't.
If he was a Celtic, you'd love him. He's literally smart. He is literally smart in it, like a for his body. He is literally like that. But probably,
I mean, you guys know my personality. I love the people who are just like so outrageously like assholes. And I
exactly that's
When they're
that
on-
is
when they're on
Draymond.
your team.
When they're on my, I
I
would love Draymond.
I would love
I would
Draymond
love
if he was a
Draymond.
Celtic.
But
Honestly, I
Yeah.
love him as a Warrior too. Like
he's fun to hate. He's so fun to
that's.
hate.
But
know
you
what
got to
I mean?
think that series would have been significantly more boring if it wasn't for Draymond.
You're right.
He made
You're
that so
right.
like
He made it watchable.
Because
Yeah.
after every
Fan of either
game, he
team.
just made us so mad,
It
and then
was
we
so
go
funny.
in and lose again, and then we're even more mad.
But like
Oh my
if you don't
God.
have stuff like that, you don't have that like that beef, that
it's a
clashing.
boring
Like
series.
it's not as fun.
Like,
And
compared
It's
to
like
last
it's like
year's
the Bucks
finals,
series this year.
like,
I mean, like, don't get me wrong, Bucks series was very competitive, very good, but there was no like, you know, what I
Yeah.
mean? Like the Heat had the
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
had
there was a lot
PJ
of
Tucker saying like when Draymond said that they want Boston.
yeah.
that was Udonis Haslam who was like,
It was Haslam.
yeah,
right?
he was like, hey, tell Draymond I said thank you. Like you didn't play.
You
thank
lost.
Hey, you took 2 L's in one night. But like the Heat had that, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that, like all the tension. the arguing, the real like competitive aggression
There's
on
also
the
the
court.
history within the bubble. Which
Yes.
I think added to that.
Yes.
Teams
That was an
already didn't
awesome
like
series.
Same with the Nets. The Nets had that aggression, that like extra, you know what I mean?
Everyone
Irving.
didn't like that Heat series because there wasn't a lot of scoring because there was great defense.
Fantastic.
As a basketball fan, I love that series.
That's the number 2 defense. You said I couldn't think of a number 2 defense.
That is it. Yeah.
That is the number 2 defense.
They just suck on offense.
Yes, they're just terrible on offense, so you don't really see it that much.
But yeah, so big fan of the Brogdon trade. I think he's going to be huge for us. With our depth now, Grant, Gallinari, White, that's like a playoff rotation. Those are 4 guys on the bench that you can play. Even Pritchard, like if you have to play a 10th guy, you can. Like
we have the bench now that the Warriors had last year.
We
not the
have
same bench. I'm not saying that, but like I'm saying potential wise and scoring wise, and like the overall opportunity to be a great like that could be a starting lineup in another planet. You know what I mean? Like you take that.
That
team
would be the Portland Trailblazers starting lineup.
Exactly. We have the Trailblazers. We have the Trailblazers on our back. On our back.
Last year's Portland Trailblazers without Dame, that would have been the starting lineup.
Yes.
Like, how many other teams have a 20-point per game scorer that they can just easily bring off the bench like we do? Like, nobody.
Honestly,
Nobody does.
when that Brogdon trade happened, I was actually a bit worried because I was like, I'm a huge Smart guy, so I was like,
Please don't take
no.
it.
I'm
No,
like,
the
Smart's
ESPN
not going to
goes.
want to come off the bench. I'm like,
You wouldn't mind at all. He was a 6-man for years.
yeah, but no, he would. But like now that he started, and
Also,
he
I finished the Celsius. It was fantastic.
Had to let everybody know.
Yeah, let's plug the Celsius.
The Arctic vibe. I think this is my new favorite flavor. Fantastic. Absolutely love it.
But so like I was like worried because I was like, Smart's not going to want to come off the bench now. Like he's going to want to leave. And then I was like, a 2 guard like would be perfect. That would be awesome. Like 2 guard starting lineup would be perfect. And then they're like, Brogdon's fine with being a 6-man. I'm like, boom. We're going to keep the same starting lineup. That chemistry is going to be there. And we're bringing in another
And
guy.
Brogdon's still going to get like
contribute.
22 minutes a game.
Yeah, he's going to play.
He's still
Well,
gonna
he's going to play with Grant Williams minutes, like with off the bench, because we had to shorten our bench a lot last year because we couldn't play those guys because they just weren't good enough.
Yeah.
So we're good to go.
Last year we had an 8-man lineup. This year we can have like a strong like 9 to 10-man lineup switching in if we
I
need
think
to.
what's really underrated with the Brogdon trade is, as you were saying earlier, Cross, when we can bring Horford off the bench in some games, but also people aren't talking enough about, I think, which is huge with this trade, is we can rest Rob Williams a little more now.
Yeah.
A healthy Rob
We
Williams
do need to get a big man to do that.
We
a
do.
game changer. I think we had a healthy
Which
Rob
this
in
ain't
that
Gallinari
series.
could play. Gallinari could play a
he can
5.
play.
Saying, but
He could,
I
but
think-
he
I
wouldn't.
wouldn't
He
count
wouldn't
on
be
him,
able to.
you know what I
He
mean?
wouldn't be able to guard a lot of bigs. So
That's what I'm saying.
I think
Yeah.
we do need to add a big man.
A
The reason
healthy
why-
Rob Williams is a game changer.
He
bro.
is.
And the
So
reason
we
why-
win that finals if he's fully healthy, I think.
The reason why he's such a good game changer for us is because of his defense. Like, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
He's a body to stop
Even
in
if
the
he
paint.
doesn't block the shot,
he's
changing
Yes.
changing
You
the
don't have to
shot.
think about
so
it
they
like that.
miss.
Every
Yes.
time you drive
The
in.
reason why he's not blocking the shot is because they're now fading. They're now
Yeah, and they're not
hooking.
trying to like
backing
get
off of
around,
him.
and they're missing shots because of him.
Because you know, if you drive straight at him, that man's batting it back to Uranus. Dude. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, and I'm just really excited for this season. I really am. It brought back the passion for the
Yes.
Celtics because like I've always been a huge Celtics fan. I've supported them through like the Phil Pressey starting days, like throwback.
Tell me 2019 to like, because 2018 was a very, very fun season to watch.
Yeah.
Tell me 2019 to 2021 wasn't some of the most boring Celtics basketball you've watched in forever.
And it just like got painful to watch and it hurt.
It
like,
felt like 2014 to 2017.
yeah, it just like it hurt. It hurt to watch. I was just like I wasn't as excited about like I was still watching pretty much every game.
Yes.
But like then this year, like I watched every single game.
Everything
this year.
changed.
I watched
Everything changed.
I watched every single game. The beginning of the year, they had me all done, and then they start. I had a feeling. I was like, I told my dad, I was like, they're gonna go on a run.
energy's about to
They're gonna
shift.
go on a run. I'm like, they're gonna figure this out once they get going. I'm like, they're gonna buy in, and they're gonna get there. And they did. I didn't think they were gonna make it to the finals. I just thought they're gonna at least make it to the playoffs and
Yes.
win a round.
Yes.
But which I thought was gonna be a win for the season
To
based on
shoot-
how they played.
To shoot from like the 10 to 11 seed all the way to the 2 seed going
Yeah.
into the going into the playoffs and
We
making
should
the
have had the 1
finals.
seed to be honest, but
We could have had the one if we wanted to.
we don't dodge the Nets. We don't dodge them.
We wanted the Nets.
Yeah, so but I was just so ecstatic. It really brought back my love for the Celtics, and I was yelling at the TV, getting into the
Oh my
games.
God.
Anybody who watched the Celtics game with me this postseason, I apologize.
Michael Donovan, I know you're watching this right now. Tell me at Myrtle Beach when we were watching Game 5, everyone in the room wasn't screaming at the top of their lungs. And I will say this, Mike Donovan, he was the one person that changed my mind on Derek White. I hated Derek White.
love Derek
You know
White.
I hated Derek
love
White.
Derek White.
I hated Derek White so much. And we're watching Game 4 and 5, and he's sitting there convincing me the whole game why Derek White is good. And I'm sitting there like angry every time he steps on the court because I'm like, watch, he's gonna take a bad shot, smacks it. I'm like, all right, well, it was lucky. And then he's like, you're not supposed to watch him for his offense. You're supposed to admire his defense. I'm like,
And his
okay.
playmaking.
I was like, okay, I'll start doing that. And his defense is phenomenal.
If you got to, a lot of people don't see the little things that some of these players do, but I don't want to get too analytical. But
I say we've gone over a lot of points today so far. I say we finish it off strong. We haven't graded yet, so let's grade our finals, our off season, and going into this season. What would you give the Celtics grade for?
like just the finals or the whole
We're
playoffs?
talking just the finals because
Just
actually no, we'll go whole playoffs
Because just the finals unfair.
Yes, that's more.
Whole
that's more-
playoffs, A plus.
Abs-
Or
I-
no, I'll give A minus because I still think we should have won the finals. I'll go A minus because phenomenal all the way up. Actually, the Heat series did get a bit ugly, but like because they weren't playing as well and injuries kind of killed us. But I go A minus. I think we made it way farther than anyone thought we would. Everyone thought we were going to lose to the Nets, and we swept
my
their
God.
ass. And
I won $300 off of this playoff.
Yeah,
I will say that.
we killed it. And I just think it's hard to be mad with the finals run. It really is. I mean, we haven't been there since 2010. We haven't won since 08. Really brought back some passion in Boston. A minus for my postseason.
Off season? No.
Off, do you want to do all three?
We'll battle it all.
Off season, I'll go A minus because, or actually, yeah, A minus because they haven't signed a big man yet. I think once they get there, I'll get to an A plus just because I know Brad's working on it. Brad is a genius. Love that man, and Brad we trust.
And then going into the season.
Going into next season, I have high expectations. I think they should be back in the finals and winning it this year. So I think I'm gonna go with. I don't want to go too high on them. I'll go B plus just because those are my expectations so high, and getting there is gonna be tough. So I'm gonna go B plus. I don't know if they'll get there, but that's where they should be. Aiden?
All right. Full playoffs, I'd probably give them a solid A. And again, the one thing taken away from the A plus would be I think they should have won the finals. But I don't see how you can call sweeping the Nets, where, by the way, people were saying we were going to get swept by them.
Yep.
They wanted us. Like, you can't give that anything less than an A minus, in my
First,
opinion.
The
They did
Nets.
so
No, it was
good
not
in
only
that
the
series.
Nets that wanted us. It was every single team we went against
Yes.
wanted to play against us.
And we're like,
Comment.
See ya.
Yeah.
And the additions we made were so helpful there. Like, even when Derek White was struggling to make shots, you could see his defense was impacting
he would
the
pick it
game.
up defense and playmaking
Yeah.
wise, and he
Just needs to get comfortable. He'll figure the shot out, but his defense is amazing. I think that was a game-changing pickup. Will pay off massive dividends this season. But I give them an A for the course of the playoffs. They did struggle at times, but when they faced adversity in the earlier rounds, someone stepped up. Whether it was Tatum with his 40-plus point game in Game 6 of the Bucks series, or the defense in the Heat series really locked up Butler for a few games at least, which is really hard to do against. Well, I have Butler as a top 10 player in the league. You can't really shut those guys down for very long.
Was the 26 and 24 Brown and Tatum game in the Heat series, or was that the Bucks series where they combined for 50?
I think that might have been the Heat.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
That was
Tatum went off.
That was phenomenal.
Yeah,
from both
Tatum
of them.
had like a 40-point game.
And their
Yeah.
biggest thing was their defense because all their points were like
So
either
what was your
off.
offseason?
So I gave them an A for the playoffs. Off season, I'm giving them an A plus. And I know they haven't signed their backup big man yet, but if I'm being honest, if everybody's healthy, I don't know that big man gets minutes. Especially if they're doing the small ball lineup. They're
Yeah,
bringing
but
a
they
big
need,
off
but
the-
they do need a big
off the bench,
like
yeah.
even but throughout the season, Tice played and Cantor
Yeah.
Freedom played because
We can't have another 6'9" center.
Yeah.
We
yeah
can't have another 6'9".
they need to get
think-
a big guys.
But I agree with that 100%. We need another body. I don't think their season coming up, whether they win the finals or don't win the finals, is going to hinge primarily on their backup big man. That's
Well,
why
I think
give it an
might. I
A+.
think it'll keep Rob Williams and Al Horford
Yeah.
fresh and keep them from getting injured if they have somebody they can bring in, like to replace them, like to come off the bench and like replace them for
Yeah.
some minutes.
I think
Because you don't want them playing 35 to 40 minutes a night during
Yeah.
the regular season.
like the Brogdon trade was a massive win. Easy A+. Great job from Brad there. I love the Gallinari signing. So I'm going to give them an A+ for the offseason. Couldn't have done it any better, in my opinion. And going into the season, I'm going to give them an A-. I think we're the title favorites with our big moves over the offseason. We get guys back healthy.
You don't think the Lakers are title favorites?
Hard decision for me not to put them
I think
right.
the Wizards honestly have a solid shot this year.
I think the Jays, people forget the Jays are still so young. They have so much room for improvement. And in that finals, having Tatum struggle, I think overall was a good thing for his career. Now he knows, like LeBron struggled
not
in his
invincible.
first finals. Yeah,
Now he knows he's not
he
invincible.
knows what he needs to do to reach the next level. And if you think about just finals in the past, the Warriors, their first final, it took a little bit of luck with Kyrie and K-Love going down for them to get that first win. And we ran into one of the greatest dynasties of all time in our first finals. So I think we come back healthy. Brogdon is a nice fit in our lineup. I think we could easily win the whole thing if pieces fall the right places. So I'm going to give us an A-. Don't want to set it too high for disappointment, but I think we can do it.
Yeah,
I think we can do it.
I think it's gonna be huge for us. So, you want to give yours?
Mine's gonna be quick. I'm gonna rattle off all three right now. A. Now I'm not gonna explain why.
AAA.
I'm not gonna explain. Yeah, right.
Car broken down.
I think I think my exhaust fell off of like a speed bump or something. But no. So I'm not gonna give why. Like I think like this is why. This is how good they got to get an A. I'm gonna say why they didn't get an A+. Playoffs, they didn't get an A+ because we lost the motivation. I really think it came down to like once we lost that second game in a row. Once we lost game 5, I knew we were losing game 6. Because go back and look at Tatum in game 6. Go back and look at Smart in game 6. Go back and look at Brown in game 6. The only person who wasn't like, damn, dude. The only person who wasn't like literally just making. You watch the fouls, you watch the calls, you watch a missed shot, just like shoulder shrugs. The only person who wasn't doing that consistently for every single shot was Al Horford. Only person. You go back and watch that series, you could see every single one of them were disappointed and out of their mindset. If they came into the series with the mindset of the Heat, mindset like Game 6 against the Bucks, when we were down, everybody's already counting us out. If they came in with that mindset, would have been a different story. We lost the motivation, we lost the drive. That's why we lost the title. We easily could have had that title this year, but we didn't because of that. And we were new to the finals aspect.
All
So
the credit to the Warriors.
Absolutely.
They took care of business.
Absolutely.
Steph Curry was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
Andrew Wiggins had a career series.
The Sharks smelled chum in the water and they attacked. That's it. That's all that happened.
To go off of that, Harry, I think their mindset going into the finals was we're happy to be here. Like, can't believe we made it versus the Warriors. We're here to win.
Yeah, the Warriors.
We don't take no prisoners.
The Heat. Our mindset was like, oh my God, guys, we made it to the finals. High fives. You know what I mean? The Warriors came in and they're like, all right, I'm fourth. they knew they were winning.
Winning a Western Conference Finals is nothing new to most of those guys.
No, yes, and they came in with the motivation.
I think having those guys who had been there helped with the ones who hadn't been there.
And we had
into settling down, basically like, shut up, we haven't won yet.
Now that we have experience in there, I mean, we got rid of Tice, we got rid of Neesmith, but that's not going to hurt us. So it's tagging into the offseason. Yes, we do still need a big, but that's not why I have us down from an A+. Why I have us not an A+ is because one particularly liked tweet from Jaylen Brown that could hurt our entire next season, depending on his mindset going in. Jaylen Brown thinks we don't treat him right as a Celtics fan.
Which it's majority of the fan base love him and appreciate him. It's the very few that are loud that keep saying trade him that are upsetting him, and because he's never going to see all the appreciation. All he's going to see is the negative stuff that comes out, because that's what gets pushed, and it's all crap. I mean, most of us love him. I love Jaylen Brown. I think he's huge for us, and he's a bucket. but I hope he knows that most of our fan base love him, and I hope he's realized that after he liked that tweet, there was a lot of Celtics fans that were
Trying to be like, yo,
very
yo,
vocal,
whoa,
like,
whoa,
no,
yeah.
like, we love you, like.
If you looked at his replies, like if like to his he didn't tweet anything about it. But if you saw that tweet or you saw that like tweet, like you went in his likes, and then went to his most recent tweet, like whatever he reposted. If you looked at the replies, it's nothing but Celtics fan going like, "We love you, Jalen.
Yeah.
We love you. We love the Jays. You guys did great." I'm hoping that he looked at those and not just the bad ones, but that's a very hard thing to do in a mindset where you're trying your best. When you're trying, because we've all been there. Like, I've been set back. He's been set back. You've been set back.
Yeah.
We've all been there where people are like, "Hey man, you're doing great. You're doing great." But the only thing that you can hear, like realistically, is the people telling you that you keep failing. The people telling you that they don't want you, that you're not doing good. You're not going to get better. It's hard not to block it out. And I'm really hoping we can overshadow it. And that's why we have an A for our next season's potential. We have the team. We have the players. We have the coach. We have the GM. We have everything you can quite possibly ask for to make yourself a championship team. We just need the mindset. Now, the scariest thing when I saw that tweet is I immediately thought of the last year of I immediately thought of James Harden's last year on the Rockets. I immediately thought of Ben Simmons. I immediately thought of
Durant.
yes, Durant's last year on the Thunder. If you look at how a player plays when they don't like being there, they don't play at all. Their potential, their playmaking, their shooting, their overall drive to be good just gets skyrocketed down. And that's what I'm mostly scared of. Now, I'm hoping that the guys in the locker room can change that. I'm hoping that the good fans out there like you and us can change that. And I'm hoping that he doesn't go in with a bad mindset. I'm hoping that all of them attack this season, not upset about the finals last year, not upset about the fans who don't want them.
Use it as motivation.
Use it as a drive to kill the teams around them. Every single matchup should be a bloody battle. And it shouldn't be close.
Bloody.
That's why I have A's across the board.
Yeah.
Now, nevertheless, I think this next year is going to be one of the most exciting years of basketball I've watched in a very long time. I think you guys can say the same.
Yeah,
I agree. And I think we've pretty much covered everything. So I hope you guys liked our little in-person setup.
Right?
We're
This is
happy
fun.
to have Harry back for a couple weeks. Hopefully we'll get a couple.
Stop it. Oh my
Stop it.
God.
Hopefully we'll get a couple more episodes like this in hopefully we'll get a couple more like this in before Harry has to go back. But welcome back. Happy to have you. And let me just
Good to be back, guys. Stay handsome over there, okay?
all right. Thanks everyone for watching. This episode was brought to you by Celsius. Go check them out. We got some big things in the works. We'll let you guys know. Make sure you're following us on Instagram at @offbeat_sports. Make sure you follow us on TikTok at offbeatsports, and make sure you like and subscribe to this video.
He's Cross. I'm Harry. That's Aiden. Thank you very much for being here, and we can't wait to be back.
We'll see you next time.